The Wills family has lived at Trellinoe Farm since 1956, when brothers John and Brian bought the property that was, at the time, reverting to scrub. The family is still investing in the property with a view to sustainability and diversification. As well as the farm, there's an internationally renowned garden and cafe business that's become a showcase attraction on the Napier-Taupo Road. In 2005, after a career in rural investment, Bruce Wills joined his brother Scott to help run the operation.
Total of 1,134 hectares, with over a third of it in gorges and trees and reserves, so 800 hectares effective. I was born and bred here and spent the first 12 years of my life here. Where we are here being sort of 3/4 of an hour from Napier, schooling was a little bit of a challenge, so I left this property here when I was 12 and spent 30 odd years away at secondary school, university, and then banking and finance for 20 odd years. And for better or for worse, came back to farming 4 years ago. There's always challenges with generations. I'm one of 5, and of course the next generation is bigger again, so you know we've got to just work that through. But I guess at this stage it's in a trust, and my brother and I leased it from the trust effectively, and we were in the place in partnership, so that's working well. The farming operation's changed in recent years. We were a predominantly a store lamb operation was our main business. But I guess we got knocked very hard here in the 2007 drought, not only with weather but with the prices. So we changed our focus, and now we try and get most of our lambs away fat, and the same with the cattle. We run about 240 odd breeding cows, and all progeny are taken through to fat. Farming's a pretty solitary existence, I guess, and although I enjoyed the physical challenge and running my own business, we're just looking for something a little bit more, I guess, mentally stimulating off the property. So went along to a couple of the local Fed Farms meetings, and before too long I ended up my current role. So I think at the end of the day I do enjoy it, and if I can add some value to what sheep and cattle farmers need from the economy and from their businesses, then I'll be satisfied. Well, one of the big initiatives I guess I have been involved with since my time with Federated Farmers is our program, which we fairly well known, called the T150. And it's targeting $150 for a mid-season lamb within 5 years. And a lot of that was about bringing some sustainability and certainly some profitability back to the sheep farming sector. A number of things need to happen for us to get to some better lamb prices. Last year, $55 was the average for a mid-season lamb. This year, looking closer to 90, so we've made big progress, which is very welcome. And I guess what we as farmers need to do is probably 3 things. We need to grow a heavier lamb, we need to spread our selling season, and we need to commit our supply to our processor of choice, just so that it gives them more certainty when they deal with the customers. These are our to-dos. We don't lamb up here as hoggets, so this is their first time to the ram. We're pretty happy with their condition, with having been through a drought, and probably largely as a result of much lower stocking rates now than we were 3 years ago when the droughts first hit. Yeah, it's a little bit unique. We get some comments with our tails, but it is planned, and I guess probably 3 reasons we do that. One is we have a fly problem here, like a lot of New Zealand and particularly Hawke's Bay, I guess, and I guess very simply we reckon that it's a bigger fan at the back end to keep the flies away, and we watch sheep with the little stubby cut-off tails when the flies start coming around the back end. Not much for them to scare the fly away. So one is fly. The second one is, which again is important for us, is a welfare issue. In Europe, and much of Europe, the requirement is a 3-4 inch tail, and the reason for that, particularly with the female stock, is it covers their private parts, I guess, and gives better protection there. And there has been some studies done that with a bigger movement of the tail, it actually builds up the muscle area around the back end. It can help the muscling of the back end of the sheep. We've had a change with our carnival management. I guess the previous generation on this property spent a lifetime crushing, scrub and burning it. So I could have gone through and just chopped a lot, but I thought, well, hey, here's some great trees doing a good job with offering shelter and protection for stock. We do plant a lot of poles here, poplars and willows, and we're constantly battling with them being ring-barked by cattle, particularly in the droughts. These things, I've never seen a cattle beast ring-bark them. They don't get too big, they're attractive, they've got a tough bark. And the reason for putting them up like this is to make certain that we get grass right up to the trunks. That's how I prefer it. But we've still got the roots in the ground doing the erosion control stuff, and the shade, the shelter, I think, really, special for us to be able to have a native doing that paddock protection work rather than the exotic trees. About 240 thereabouts breeding cows. We're going to keep building that up probably to perhaps near the 300. And all progeny we take through to having sort of 2.5 rising 3-year-olds. So we haven't started yet selling those. We've got some 2.5-year-olds now, which we'll sell over the next few months. We've had a big change in ratios. 4 years ago, we were probably 85% sheep, 15% cattle. We're now getting close to 40% cattle, 60% sheep, and we may even adjust that to closer to 50 to 50. Again, a couple of reasons. I guess one is the very poor returns for sheep. It just frightened us off sheep. It's just so much work for so little return. So we've moved to these guys. But I guess it works in with our labour requirements. With me spending a bit more time off farm now, we can manage these things without the labour that we used to with sheep. It's taken a big change in management practice, and we find now that we have to really carry some of that spring growth all the way through. There's a number of paddocks with quite a bit of sort of roughage on them. We have to carry that right through for the cattle, otherwise, being as high as we are, we don't have that winter growth. But it seems to work for us. Water's a big issue for us here on Trellinoe. We do have a number of springs, but even in the dry we've had in recent years, they tend to dry out. So we're very consciously, I guess it's all about water storage for us. We get more rain than we need in the winter, and obviously not enough in the summer. So a simple way for us to solve that is to create more storage, and for us it's building dams. So in the last 4 years, we've put up 40 new dams. Not big dams, but just it just gives us more holding capacity and a better spread of water over the paddocks for the stock. It's the frustrating thing at the moment, of course, is that even after 6 inches of rain, as you can see with this one, just merely a puddle at the bottom. So we're going to need a lot more rain to refill the aquifers before next spring. We're right in the middle of Trellinoe Park. This is a 13-hectare labour of love, I guess, from my parents who built it from scratch from the early 1960s. It's now an internationally recognised garden. We have some thousands of visitors that come here from overseas every year, as well as New Zealand visitors. Yeah, it's quite a special part of Trellinoe. If you were to work with 5 lakes here, probably 12 acres of lawn, and there'd just be scores and scores of kilometres of tracks, I guess, all up. So it's a big undertaking. 30 acres. We built a cafe 20-something years ago now. It's now open 9 months of the year, 7 days a week. And we've hosted scores of thousands of people here over the years. It's been great. We try and convince ourselves that we can balance that we just meet our costs, but no, it is, and it's becoming an increasing challenge because gardening, of course, is a little bit out of favour with the younger generation. So it's something we have to keep adapting.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.